I haven't made a video for ages, since way before Christmas, so I thought I'd better just check in. It's been a really sort of hard Christmas. I mean, a really good one, a really excellent Christmas. I really enjoyed it, but just sort of hard work. Had my father-in-law staying after a kidney operation, and he stayed for a while, and also another friend who was ill stayed for a few days, a couple of times, and then Christmas itself is always really, really hard work, and having the kids at home for 2.5 weeks in itself is just really, really draining. So I got kind of knackered, to be honest. It's really, really difficult to evaluate where I am at, because whenever I overdo it, I kind of take several steps back just because of that reason. And the other thing is, my arthritis is actually really quite good at the minute, but I'm in that sweet spot in my cycle where my arthritis does tend to be very good. So it's very difficult to say whether it's good just because I've got low estrogen today, or whether it's good because I'm improving. But I'm going to assume it's because I'm improving, because I think I am on an upward trend. I've had a blood draw last week, so I should really go back to my GP and see what those results are, because I've had my thyroid taken and my iron levels, as well as my CRP, ESR, full blood count stuff. So, because I am interested to see what my thyroid's doing, to be honest, because I had a blood test done about a year ago that showed that my T3 levels were 6 point something, which is way out of range. And at the time I was incredibly trembly, and when I was having those reactions to the steroids, what preceded it was a very, very strong internal trembling. So anyway, I don't know. I should be interested to see anyway what those results are. There's a lot of changes as per usual. What have I changed? There's something that I've added in just the last few days that may be actually really, really helping. Red light. I've got a red light, which is like an infrared heat lamp, and I sat next to it last Friday night, and perhaps too close, I think, for too long, which is kind of dumb. You know, I immediately do too much or something whenever I get something new, and it really heats you up from the inside out. It's like you don't feel like you're hot to touch, but God, my face was really, really warm for like a whole day afterwards. Anyway, I won't do that again. But I put it on my knees and largely on my right knee and my right hand, just because they were nearest to the lamp. And I've been really finding my right hand has been a lot easier to close, and my right knee has been better since. But then immediately after I'd finished using it, I had the most tremendous hurt, because I mean, really bad for several hours, full on nausea and twitching and cold and then hot, the works. So I don't know whether maybe the red light obviously had too much of it, but whether somehow that sort of superheated me at the sort of tissue level, which maybe killed off some bugs. I don't know, but I do tend to hurt on Fridays, so it wasn't like it was unexpected, but it was just the intensity of it that was quite shocking. So that's interesting. And then I've used it again last night, but very gently, only a quarter of an hour this time, and just on my knees. And I've just had quite a good morning. I've just walked to my post box and back, which isn't, in the scheme of things, a very long way at all, but it's not something I would have attempted this time last week, so it's depressing. A trip to the post box is a big deal, but it is. What else? another thing is I had a very bad herx on Sunday as well, which was quite out of the blue. Just really intense bursts of estrogen. My glands seem to emit. It's pretty regular though. I mean, it was at about 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon this time, which normally it's between sort of 12 and 2, so it was a little bit later than usual. But I did take my pills later than usual. It makes me wonder whether it's somehow affected by, bacterial die after taking the pills. Could be. And I have started to try and breathe into a plastic bag instead of a brown paper bag, with the intention, because the brown paper bag lets in a bit of air, a bit of oxygen, and what I'm trying to do is to rebreathe my own carbon dioxide. Now obviously you've got to be careful with this because you can asphyxiate yourself, so just, if it gets uncomfortable, stop. But the idea being that with a plastic bag I can kind of rebreathe my own carbon dioxide a bit faster, perhaps a bit more effectively. And I think once the herx is really underway, it's a bit too late to kind of stop it, if you see what I mean. But last night I had sat at the kitchen table going into a herx, and Richard brought me a plastic bag, and I breathed into it for probably a full two minutes. I don't know, I couldn't tell you time-wise exactly, but I breathed into it for quite a while before feeling like it was at all uncomfortable. And it really felt like, it's hard to explain, this sounds a bit weird, but it felt like it was what my brain needed in order to avoid going to full-on twitching. Like it calmed my brain somehow. I really can't describe that, but it felt very good and like what I needed at the time. So I'm going to try and make sure I've got plastic bags near me when I think I'm going to be herxing, which is actually really predictable and really regular. It's like Monday evenings, Wednesday evenings, Friday evenings usually, and Sunday lunchtimes. So it's pretty predictable. What else? Yeah, that's about it. I've basically I tried walking around the lake a couple of weeks ago now, and I was in so much pain by the end I couldn't begin to describe how painful that was. It was only a mile on the flat, and I was hanging on to Richard the whole way around, using him like a walking stick really. But my God, that was painful. And it's painful in my knees principally, but then it travels up to my hips and everything in my lower back because I'm walking awkwardly. But yeah, that was intense. I think it's important for me to keep trying to do it though. I've got to sort of, use it or lose it kind of approach. But it was the wrong part of my cycle to be trying to do it in. It was just before I got my period. And the other thing, again, I have to really sort this out in my brain. I got my period a couple of days late, and because it was a couple of days late, I was thinking to myself, rather stupidly, oh, well, maybe the progesterone I'm using is stopping it from coming, so I'll just taper it off, stop using it. And I had the most horrible kind of herxy, headachy few days of just feeling rough as buggery. And so I have got to just keep on taking it every day. And my instincts are always to try and cut back on things and stop them, but I really can't. For whatever reason, I really can't cut back on the progesterone. Certainly not in the couple of days before I get my period and the first day or so of my period, that's for sure. So I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. But I just, it's like every month I get amnesia and I think, oh well, maybe this time I can do without it, and I can't. So I feel like lots of things are improving. I've started eating liver regularly. I've got some in the oven actually heating up now, and I think that's really helping with my iron absorption because I'm really anemic, iron anemic. So I'm getting good red light. Rebreathing into my bags. I need to do that several times a day, really, regardless of whether I'm hexing or not, to sort of retrain my brain to retain its carbon dioxide, to use it better. And I'm getting the red light's really helping to sort of hopefully downregulate the stress hormones because we've got winter here and it's very dark all the time. But I think it's more than that. It felt like when I used the lamp as though it was actually bug killing. That might be bullshit. That might just be it was adjacent to a herx, and but that's how it seemed. So I mean, one thing about one thing your immune system does to try and get rid of infection is to give you a fever. Because most infections can't tolerate high temperatures. So, nor can people. But you hope you kill the bugs first. So I do wonder whether it might have that kind of an effect. But it certainly seems to have brought the inflammation down in my knees and in my hands.